Hey, it's Brian Wright from BrianWright732.com, WrightPartnersInc.com, and KillerBCSA.com. I am sitting here with my brand new Heroes of Hustle t-shirt that just landed. Heroes of Hustle is a new shirt brand that I started. Take a good look. Really cool. Really cool. You should get yours. You should help support my brand. You should help support my website so I can continue doing this shit. So go to BrianWright732.com, click on the Heroes of Hustle link if you're interested in the shirt, and pick one up. They're only 20 bucks, and they're going to go really fast because I have a lot of people that are into what I'm doing, and that's an awesome thing. So get them while they last, and that's the deal. So I'm thinking a lot about self-awareness, introspective. I've got a lot of people that I've been talking to and working with this week in particular, and it all kind of gets down to them understanding who they really are. And then in finding that out, it's cutting through all the white noise and clutter that is getting in the way of their freedom and success in life. It's all like really cool, amazing stuff. Now, on the same token, it's extremely scary to start down the self-awareness trip because a lot of us come to these, relevation. Wow, I just screwed that word up. But basically, we figure out for ourselves, usually later in life, more so than early in life, to who we really are and what we want. And it's because if you really look at the world programs us to be a certain way. When we're born and we go to school, I mean, they basically teach us to fall in line and listen and do the things that they want us to do. And in parenting, in a lot of ways, you want your kid to, do what you want them to do and whatever. And it's like we kind of beat the uniqueness out of each other, and we force everybody into like a mold of what is socially acceptable as success. But then as we grow, we come to this point where we're like, okay, we're getting the trappings that people are asking, or we're not, and we're finding that we're not happy. And sometimes it's even we don't have the trappings and we're finding happiness, which is absolutely opening us up to what self-awareness is. So at some point we just get there. It's like the things we have or don't have really don't matter, and there's other things that matter uniquely to us, and that's what really is what starts to define us. So the scary part of that is that say you're 42 years old like me, and you wake up one day and you realize that you're not living in line with your personal beliefs, your personal desires, the things that you feel most passionate about. And then you have to start making changes. But at that point, you've accumulated a lot of things between relationships, material things, jobs, connections, all that. And you get into this position where it's like you kind of have to shake off a lot of that and get the people in your life to understand that you're going to shake that off and you're going to go in a different direction, because that's where happiness and success for you personally is going to lie. And the people that are really there for you, they'll stick around for the journey. The people that were there for the trappings, they're all going to disappear, and they're probably going to talk poorly about you. But once you start figuring out who you are and what you want and then going for it, you really don't care about all that other stuff anyway, because the energy and the passion and the fire and the happiness that you're getting out of following your true path is so great that literally all the little distractions that have tended to bother us over time, they really go away. I've got a 25-year-old guy here who owns his own business who's dealing with crazy anxiety issues, and it's because he's putting such a great emphasis on that just word anxiety. So when he starts to get like a little flutter of it, it turns into this like massive thing, because he's created in his mind that's this massive thing that's going to get in the way of everything. And he was losing sight of all the good people he's got around him and the amazing opportunity that he has, and he's not appreciating enough that at 25 years old, running the business that he is actually what he wants to do. It's what he always wanted to do, and it's what he's doing so young, and he's doing it so well. And he's got an amazing wife that's his partner in the venture that balances out his skill set, and they've got like just this amazing opportunity. But because of this like one word, he was ignoring all the amazing things in his life. And then he literally, in like 72 hours of thinking differently, that big word is, he's losing it in his vocabulary, and he's not as freaked out, because by acknowledging who he is and what he wants, and the fact that he's actually doing it, that strength can overcome the negative side of things that he was having trouble dealing with. And that's for all of us. I don't care if you wake up to the reality of who you are at 5 years old or you wake up to it at 55 years old. The main point is that you wake up and that you've developed the ability to have the strength to go after it whenever it is you wake up for it. And that's why I like strength and conditioning and martial arts and whatnot, is because it's such a challenging, it's such just a endeavor. You're always being pushed, you're always being challenged. Having something that you know that you can just pour yourself into and you're going to walk away from it better on a daily basis just helps you deal with so many things. And for me, when it comes to understanding who I am, I've known who I am for a very long time. Figuring out how to make a living off of it has been the difficult part, because again, dealing with the programming side of stuff is like you're told you're supposed to operate in a certain way. And then, I kind of woke up to the reality not even that long ago, maybe about 3 years ago. I kind of was like, fuck the rules. I mean, this is a game that everybody's playing, and I don't really want to play a game. I actually want to do something. I don't want to fuck around anymore. And so you start looking at like the continuity in your life and what's the one trait that you've got, and then when you figure out like that, what's that one trait that it excites you, your passions are all aligned with, and it's like it's your constant fallback. For me, it's always been coaching, teaching, communicating. They're all to me the same thing. It's expressing myself in a way that's going to make somebody else better. That's pretty much what is always floated my boat. I've cared about that more than my own personal successes. So if I go and do something and I get it, I want to be able to take getting it and teach that to someone else. And if they're more successful than I've been with it, I feel like I'm now a success. That's why I really feel I'm a coach. As an athlete, it was the same issue for me. The fights I didn't win, other people have won greater things than I've ever done because of my experience, my understanding of my experience, and my ability to translate that effectively to other people. And so I never won a world title, and I'm really okay with it. I've got guys that won world titles, and that's what makes me excited. And it's truly not a situation where I'm living off of their dreams. No, my dream was to take somebody, train them, and have them be something. So when I watch Rocky, I don't want to be Rocky. I want to be fucking Mickey. That was me. It's always been me. When I started doing karate when I was 6 years old, I had a really cool instructor who really got that with me, and she saw that I got it, and she allowed me to get it, and then she allowed me, no matter what my age was, to translate my knowledge to other people. That gave me very early on a confidence in my ability to communicate. So even as a child, I was able to communicate with adults. So at 20 years old, I wasn't trying to be a life coach because I didn't live enough life, but the things that I really got, which were physical conditioning, martial arts training, even art in a lot of ways, I was able to take those things and give them to other people and create a business on that. What fucked me up was not going all in on that teaching aspect of my life and thinking that, that if I really wanted to be successful and I wanted to really make a few money, I had to go and do something else. And that's how I got involved with other ventures and I've gotten involved with clothing companies. I've gotten involved with retail stores. I ran a retail chain. I've been involved in multi-million-dollar huge operations, but they weren't as fulfilling as going into the gym and teaching somebody a skill that I really wasn't making any money on, but I walked out happy. So, fast forward to where I'm at now. Now I'm like, okay, I'm not dicking around with the things that waste my time, and I'm not trying to acquire a new business. I'm trying to make a business out of who I am, and I am making a business out of who I am, and I'm having a tremendous amount of positive impact on people's lives. And I can say within the last 12 months in particular, when I really just said, let's focus on training people in the different things I do, I've gotten a lot further ahead, and it's led to me doing these videos. And I guess the main message is get to really understand who you are. That thing you wanted to do when you were 6 years old, it's okay. It's really funny. Bringing another one in real quick. One of my guys is an entrepreneur, straight up entrepreneur. Started his own business. He knows how to hustle. He loves running his own business. He sells the shit out of what he does. and asked his daughter the other day, what do you want to be? And she said, I want to be famous. And I said, good. She's just like you. And he goes, no, I don't want to be famous. I said, shut the fuck up. What did you want to be when you were her age? He goes, well, I wanted to play soccer. And I was like, no, you didn't want to play soccer. You wanted to use soccer to become famous, right? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, so in today's world with social media and the fucking Kardashians and all that ilk, that is what a young person of today is looking at and understanding to be fame. For me, I wanted to be the quarterback of Notre Dame and then become the quarterback for the New York Giants. And you know the funny part is, I never played a day of football in my life. But football, because my dad was a really big football player and it set up his life, for me, football was the thing that would make me popular enough to get the things that I wanted. That was in my brain, you know. So for my buddy and his daughter, she's looking at it and going, what's the thing that I'm looking at that's going to give me the dream of whatever? So whatever your dream was, again, for me, I was like, okay, I wanted to be the football star, and I never played a day of football. But it doesn't mean I quit on my dream, because what I wanted to be was not really a football player. What I wanted to be was successful on my own terms. And if you look, I wanted to be the quarterback. I didn't want to be the middle linebacker. I didn't want to be the defensive end. I wanted to be the guy that got the ball and decided how the play was going to go, because I wanted to control the situation. And I know that about myself. I'm a bad number two. I'm a number one. I am the leader of things. I am not the best follower. You have to be a very, very strong, hardcore leader for me to follow you. There are people that I have followed over time that I would continue to follow if they came back to my life, and I defer to because they were that good and they gave me the ability to get the things I get. So I do get that. But in my daily, day-to-day life, I'm the boss. It's just who I am. As an entrepreneur, as a business person, I'm a really shitty number two. I really like to give information. I like to take information. I'm actually a huge I consume massive amounts of material, but I like to translate that material and give it back. That's what I like to do. So I will consume anything that comes to me, but you've got to be prepared that I will be giving it back to you. I don't just sit there and take and walk away. I take and then I rebut, or I agree, or whatever the hell it is. But that's me, and I understand these things. And I've really evolved into a place where I get it. I'm building a very solid business on it. I'm giving back as much as I can now, because, that is just so goddamn important, is that when you figure out who you are, you've got to help other people figure out who they are. And then you have to take the things that you get and you've got to give them to other people so that they will benefit. That's how this works. Fuck the money, fuck the fame, give. That the money and the fame and all that shit, if it was meant to come to you, it'll come to you. That's the stuff that'll just happen. The main thing is, you've got to be happy doing what you're doing. You have to have a sense of purpose every day, because you're doing what you feel you were meant to do. Like you're like in flow with the universe, and I don't feel like getting too hippy dippy about it, but there is a certain level of harmony, and if you're going with the flow of where you're supposed to be, you will have a sense of harmony and you will have a sense of balance, and that's really what it's all about. You don't want to be fighting yourself, because then you're fighting the whole world and everything around it, and no matter how much money you make or how many companies you build, if you have this internal struggle, the value of all that stuff is really zero. So you may not have so much in terms of material wealth, but if you are doing what you are supposed to do, what you were born to be, then you're the richest person on the fucking planet. So allow yourself to be wealthy without acquiring. Allow yourself to be who you are, and then be open enough to the opportunities that come from being who you are and learning how to capitalize on those things. Then the wealth and all that, those things will come. While we all sit around talking about being millionaires and billionaires, I'm going to end this with one thing to think about, because we all have these lofty aspirations. I want to make $100 million. I want to make $1 billion. If you knew what it took to make $1 billion, you probably wouldn't want to make $1 billion if you're an honest and straightforward person. The top 1% that everybody shits on in this country about how, money grubbing bastards, the entry to 1% is $400,000 a year. $400,000 a year. Okay. So when you have this idea that the top 1% is this like multi-million dollar situation, the reality of it is the majority of people in this country don't make anywhere even close to $500,000. So the entry is 400,000. So if you want to be in the top 1% of the most financially successful people in the United States, which is like the NFL of the financial world, you want to be in there, 400,000 is your entry to that. So when you're thinking about developing something, understand a very secure and comfortable life. Yeah, six figures definitely helps, but $100,000 a year may be what your value thing is. That might be what it's worth. And you know what? Embrace that and like that, and understand that you're being paid possibly 100,000 or 200,000 or 200 million, whatever the fuck it is. I don't want to limit anybody to anything, but you may be making 100,000 or you may be making 100 million. But if you're not doing what you were born to do, you're going to be unhappy. And if you're doing what you were born to do, you're going to be finding happiness no matter how much you make, no matter where you are, what's going on, and you're going to die satisfied because you'll look back at your life and you say, I did it my way. And the satisfaction of that is everything. So I've ranted really long today. Just don't be scared of who you are, and embrace the changes that are going to come when you figure out who that is. And again, the people that are meant to be in your life, that really like you for who you are, will stay. And the ones that go need to go. Get rid of them. Be yourself every minute of every day. And don't be programmed or conditioned to be anything else. Don't accept it. And I don't care if you're 5 or you're 55 or you're 65 or you're 75 or you're on life support and you got 20 minutes left to live. The epiphany can come, and the embracing of who you are can come, and then you can die happy. All right? I guess that's a little bleak ending on it, but die happy because you did it your way. Later.